Tonight we're going to be in the book of Daniel, and we're going to be covering some of his faith journey. So we're going to start off in Daniel chapter 6, verse 10 and 11. Now, when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened towards Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God just as he had done before. Then these men went as a group and found Daniel praying and asking God for help. Go ahead, Harry.
Daniel prayed to his God just as he had always done. But things had changed. Praying was now illegal. Daniel's co-workers had gotten the king to make a new rule. For 30 days, no one could pray to any god except the king. Punishment was to spend a night in the lion's den. Did Daniel know this? Yes, this rule was made for Daniel. His co-workers hated him and knew they could get him this way. His work was honest. He loved the king and his God. Did Daniel hesitate? Not at all. Why? Well, that's the topic. A little bit of backstory. About 75 years earlier, King Nebuchadnezzar came with his army to Jerusalem, captured it, and carried off many of the treasures and also took back many captives, mostly upper class people, to Babylon. Daniel and his 3 friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, young princes, were included. They were likely teenagers at that time. That was chapter 1 of Daniel. In chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar the king has a dream. Nebuchadnezzar tells his astrologers and smart people to tell him the dream and the answer. No one could. Daniel, the God-loving teenager, asked God for the answer, which God did eagerly, which Daniel brought to the king. Nebuchadnezzar was impressed. Could you read chapter 2, 46 and 47?
Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell prostrate before Daniel and paid him honor and ordered that an offering and incense be presented to him. The king said to Daniel, "Surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries, for you were able to reveal this mystery."
But Nebuchadnezzar had a short memory, like many kings do. In chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar builds this huge golden god, wants everyone to worship it. Daniel's 3 friends have a real God. Tell Nebuchadnezzar, not this time. Nebuchadnezzar, in his prideful anger, threw the 3 young men into the furnace. The flames did not even singe their clothes. What gave them this courage? They had experienced God with Daniel in chapters 2 and 3. They trusted God. I like the verse in Job 13:5. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Could you read Daniel 3:28? And who is Nebuchadnezzar praising now? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or their God?
Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God."
Nebuchadnezzar praised their God, and that is so important. Their faithfulness brought praise to their God. Now, Daniel is in his 90s. Is Daniel worried? All Daniel's life, God had proved reliable to Daniel. Daniel could have been discreet as normal. Didn't pray any less because of the danger, didn't pray any more because of the danger. So what happened? Daniel spent a night in the lion pit. Except for the smell, it was no problem. Could you read 6:23?
The king was overjoyed and gave orders to lift Daniel out of the den. And when Daniel was lifted from the den, no wound was found on him because he had trusted in his God.
This was the 3rd king that Daniel served after Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel trusted God, and God trusted Daniel. Faith is experiential. It keeps growing as we serve and trust him.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.